on the rooftop, one of which was labeled with the words anti-ICE.
And straight ahead, deadly violence at a Texas ICE facility has federal agents on high alert tonight. The chilling note that investigators say the gunman left behind and what we're learning about his plans.
Comey's a bad person. He's a sick person. I think he's a sick guy, actually.
Also tonight, the clock is ticking for federal prosecutors to decide if they are planning on seeking an indictment against former FBI Director James Comey, and the president is wanting a decision now. And Amazon hit with a record settlement. The FTC says the company tricked customers into signing up for Prime, and it made it nearly impossible to cancel. We'll tell you who could be getting refunds coming up. Well, welcome into WTOL 11 Plus Now, Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan's only live local streaming newscast. I'm Jeff Smith. Earlier today, Judge Lindsay Navarre heard arguments to a case our 11 Investigates team has been following closely. It's Joel Terry's bid for a new trial. He was convicted of rape in 2019, but he claims he's innocent. And Lucas County's new Conviction Integrity Unit made the case its first review. Lead investigator Brian Duggar was in court, and he joins us now to discuss the hearing.
The key evidence was a DNA analysis from Cybergenetics in Pittsburgh. This testing cost the prosecutor's office $6,000 and was recommended by the Conviction Integrity Unit. Testing showed there was male DNA, but Terry's DNA was not in the girl's underwear. Terry's attorney, Tyler Jachura, is hinging most of his appeal on that result.
And Your Honor, having a DNA report that specifically excludes Mr. Terry certainly would have changed the outcome in that trial, because a jury could no longer hear that there was male DNA to combine with other evidence.
But prosecutor Evie Jarrett argued the DNA evidence has limited value since it came from underwear found on the victim's bedroom floor weeks after the abuse was reported.
We don't know when they were born. We don't know who else had access to them. They certainly were not the underpants that were worn by the child at the time of that 2018 rape kit.
The defense also presented a Children's Services intake report suggesting another family member may have abused the victim, though it's unclear if Terry's original defense team had access to that report. Terry's family packed the courtroom, still believing in him. His mother, Tressie Terry, said she had never questioned his innocence.
Only because of what he did in his life up to that point, which was love all his kids and care for all his kids. So at that moment, to just all of a sudden, after years and years of being around women and family members and girls and stepdaughters, it just didn't make any sense.
Terry's daughter, Alexis, got the case before the Conviction Integrity Unit by approaching County Commissioner Pete Kirkin at a community event. She had a message for Judge Navarre.
I wanted to focus on the fact that the DNA does exclude him.
And you can stand here today and say, I have no doubt.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah.
It has never been a doubt in my mind that he will possibly have done this.
Brian joining us now. So let's dive into the evidence a little bit and some of the arguments that each of the sides presented in court today. Well, what did we find out?
Well, I mean, the big thing that we were looking at in this hearing was the DNA test. The prosecutor's office paid $6,000 for it. They sent it away to this Pittsburgh Cybergenetics lab, which they could do specialized testing. You know, this was the same DNA that was tested back in 2018, but it wasn't as specialized as it is now. So when they did this, they found out that Joel Terry's DNA was not inside this young girl's underwear. And, you know, of course, you know, that's the heart of their appeal. Look, the DNA, which you used at trial, or which was mentioned at trial, it wasn't his. So, of course, the state then comes back and says, well, okay, so it wasn't his, but you know, the underwear that was tested, there were 5 pairs. They were laying on this little girl's floor for several weeks after this alleged incident happened. So the state's like, we don't even know if it's the underwear that she was wearing at that point.
Yeah.
So this test does prove that somebody was abusing her.
So you were in there in the courtroom, and from a reporter's perspective, sitting in, your senses are acute, you're trying to pick up anything that you can. What was your read on the judge and kind of where that whole thing sat?
Yeah, the interesting thing, Judge Navarre, she had asked a question at one point, and she asked it to the state. And it was about this intake report from the Lucas County Children's Services. And this report indicated that this little girl was abused by a different family member. And the defense should have had this back in 2018, but we know that for whatever reason, it wasn't introduced into the trial. And it shows that this girl was being abused by a different person. And Judge Navarre asked the state, she said, don't you think that could have changed the strategy of the defense? Which I thought was a very profound question. And it kind of made me think, maybe she thinks that this guy didn't get a fair trial.
And I can't imagine what the family was going through and what they were hearing as well. Talk about their emotions. And we got about 30 seconds.
Yeah, you know, the courtroom was packed, and it was largely Joel Terry's family that actually supported him and believe in his innocence. And I asked, you know, the mom and one of his other daughters, what are your thoughts? You believed him all along, or are you just here to support him? They're like, no, absolutely, we believe him. Nowhere else the rest of his life did he do anything like this that would make us think that he could have done this.
11 Investigates lead investigator Brian Duggar. We appreciate it. Thanks. All right, from there, we are tracking the stories making headlines across the country and over the globe, of course. Amazon paying an historic settlement after the FTC claimed it was not being truthful about its Prime subscriptions. Next on the list, federal prosecutors are debating on possible charges of the former director of the FBI, but they don't have much time to make a decision. Also, TikTok has had a wild journey of bans and efforts to keep it working in the U.S., and now there finally might be an answer to the app's fate. But we start beginning Dallas ICE shooting. The FBI now knows more about the shooting that took place at that ICE facility. It has been a day since a sniper opened fire outside that field office, and now FBI Director Kash Patel is giving more details on the gunman's life. In a social media post, Patel wrote, investigators found a note that read in part, hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror. The FBI says the suspect, 29-year-old Joshua John, also looked up details of the Charlie Kirk shooting and information related to ICE facilities and agents.
It's clear from these notes that he was targeting ICE agents and ICE personnel. The tragic irony for his evil plot here is that it was a detainee who was killed and 2 other detainees that were injured when he fired into the Sally Port.
Investigators say John shot 3 people who had been detained, killing one of them and critically wounding the others. The acting ICE director says the gunman had no way of knowing detainees were in the vehicle and was just indiscriminately shooting. TikTok is staying put after all. President Trump signed an executive order today that would keep the popular social media app TikTok operating in the U.S. Now, the details of the deal are still unknown, but President Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping, they approved it, and that the app will operate now under guidelines that meet the U.S.'s national security concerns. Federal prosecutors are considering bringing a case against former FBI Director James Comey, bringing that case before a grand jury. Reports indicate that they are looking into charging him with lying to Congress. This was when he testified in 2020 about the FBI's investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. The 5-year statute of limitations runs out Tuesday. And the president has posted on social media that justice must be served now. Prosecutors have until next week to decide whether or not to move forward. A grand jury would have to approve an indictment. Amazon will pay an historic $2.5 billion settlement. The Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, says it is all for allegedly tricking customers into signing up for its Prime subscription service and making it difficult to cancel. $1.5 billion will be refunded to roughly 35 million customers. The settlement also includes a $1 billion civil penalty. It comes only a few days into a trial between the FTC and the online company. Amazon, in a statement, said it and its executives have always followed the law. Neither the company nor its executives admit to any wrongdoing. Well, coming up, the anticipation is building for movie fans as they wait for the conclusion of Wicked. The trailer is now out.
She's very deserving of everything that she gets. She's gone through enough.
Also coming up, it's a race held in her honor. Coming up next, Sarah Nadolny. She shares her story of fighting breast cancer and how she spreads her message today.
And coming up in your weather forecast, the last of those showers tapering off, including one downpour down into Putnam County. I'm going to let you know if the sun returns for the weekend coming up next.
Well, welcome back. In case you missed it on our WTOL 11 TikTok, some Toledo residents are still stuck in a condemned mobile home park, even after the deadline to leave. The city says it's unsafe, but some families tell us help has been slow and confusing. So why are people still living there? Here's a closer look.
I do what I can do and hope for the best.
For 4 years, this has been Charles Parker's home. For 4 months, he's been looking for a new place.
Put everything in storage and look for housing. Probably going to stay in a camper until we figure it out. Better than under the bridge.
On May 23rd, the city declared Riverside Mobile Home Park in South Toledo unfit to live in. Tenants were first told to leave by June 23rd, then again by September 22nd, yesterday. Now those with the city say 2 homes are still occupied in the park, meaning according to the city, quote, at this point, it is a violation to remain on the property and the conditions have become increasingly unsafe, but we have not physically removed residents or restricted entry, end quote.
But at least they didn't block the roads off on us. They didn't come out here and strong arm us out.
But Parker says now they have no water.
And that story has a lot of people talking. You can see our full reporting on this on our WTOL 11 TikTok page. And you can also follow WTOL 11 on your favorite social media platform to stay up to date on the breaking news, weather impact, and the stories that have people talking.
Here's the plan. I have no plan. Well, I do.
Oh, thank God.
The final trailer is out for Wicked for Good. That is the Wicked sequel and the conclusion of the big screen extravaganza based on the Tony Award-winning musical starring Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. It is the highest-grossing movie adaptation of a Broadway musical. Wicked tells a different story of what we actually know about the Wizard of Oz, and this sequel movie will give people those answers, they say. The movie flies into theaters November 21st.
And a sequel to our drought is going to follow with another dry stretch of weather. After the rainy start to the week, I'm expecting dry, mild, and sunny weather to return into the weekend. Highs are going to be near 80 degrees for this final weekend of September, feeling more like summertime, and it is going to be mostly sunny and dry. Radar and satellite does show you a cold front working on through the area. That is going to bring in slightly lower humidity levels and a drier air mass for the weekend. There are still a little bit of lingering shower activity across north central and northwest Ohio, although for the most part, most areas are going to be drying out this evening. There is one rogue shower down into Putnam County that could just glance western Hancock County, and that's an area that really does need the rainfall. So hoping for some needed rainfall out of that pop-up shower. Temperature-wise, we're in the 70s right now, but it actually is going to be warming up into the weekend. Now, there is some new data today. The latest drought monitor reflects an expansion of the severe drought and even the introduction of some extreme drought conditions into portions of Hancock County up towards Henry County, locations from Findlay to North Baltimore and back over into far southern and western Henry County, as well as Putnam County, seeing that extreme drought. So again, that pop-up shower could be good news for some area fields and lawns down there. Hour by hour forecast does bring the last of those showers to an end overnight tonight. There could be a few areas of patchy fog out the door tomorrow, with sunshine quickly winning out into the afternoon. In the temperature department, we're going to be in the upper 70s for your Friday, a gorgeous night for those high school football games. And into the weekend, highs expected to exceed 80 degrees both days. 80 degrees Saturday, 81 Sunday. A very mild feel expected for Race for the Cure. Low humidity levels and calm winds will make for a brilliant weekend for those autumn activities. The weekend is going to feel milder this final weekend of September. And as we turn over the calendars into October, it is going to be a repeat performance with another stretch of dry weather. And it's likely that the recent rainfall not really going to make a dent in the drought, especially given how dry this forecast is looking. The last of those isolated showers are going to be ending late this evening, giving way to partly sunny skies Friday. Into the weekend, both of those days going to be dry and mild with highs around 80 degrees. We do ease back into the 70s with breezy weather Tuesday and Wednesday, and that extended outlook keeps above average temperatures with lots of sunny and dry weather ahead. Jeff?
Now, today we've got a story of loss and resilience for you. Sarah Nadolny, she is sharing her story of her fight with breast cancer, hoping that it can help others along the way. And now she and other breast cancer survivors are being honored this Sunday in downtown Toledo with the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure.
When we first met Sarah Nadolny in 2018, she was fighting for her life, bald from chemo, preparing for a mastectomy, and terrified of what the future would bring.
7 years ago, I remember I had to pick out the right hat because I didn't have any hair. I was scared.
Her daughter Maddie was only 7 when Sarah was diagnosed.
Everyone kind of tried to hide it from you and kind of just make it seem like nothing super big. We never called it cancer, we just called it sick.
The experience shaped Maddie's childhood, but also showed her what true strength looks like in her mom.
I've learned she's very persistent, she won't stop or give up on anything. And what she puts her mind to, she doesn't let go of, and I think that's important.
Persistence is what carried Sarah through grueling treatments and surgeries, and what carries her still after another devastating loss, the death of her husband Ryan in 2023.
I thought cancer was the worst thing that could happen, and then I lost Ryan, and that gave a whole new perspective to everything. The attitude that I've maintained, that I carry towards everything now, is one of do it all. Don't waste the time. Don't second guess doing all the things you want to do. Take the trip, eat the food.
That perspective is what Sarah now shares with others, whether through her work at Owens Corning's Pink Out, volunteering at the Victory Center, or talking with coworkers who find strength in her story.
I'm proud of that. If I could do anything, it would be to bring more people in, to have them ask the questions. I can't tell you how many times I get questions online or from friends where it's, I found this, should I be worried? Do I get it checked? Do I ignore it?
And this year, Sarah is stepping onto an even bigger stage, the race for the cure itself, which is being held in her honor.
Exhilarated, intimidated. There's certainly the, like, I didn't do anything, I don't deserve that type of feeling. But at the same time, I love telling my story and hoping that it can help someone. So I'm just leaning into it.
Her daughter says it's recognition that couldn't be more fitting.
I think she's very deserving of everything that she gets. She's gone through enough.
Sarah knows the fear of recurrence never fully goes away, but neither does the hope.
There is hope, and that it can have fantastic outcomes and lifelong friendships and renewed moments with family, and that there is hope in this, that we are so close to finding a cure.
From surviving one of the deadliest forms of breast cancer to inspiring an entire community, Sarah Nadolny is proving every single day what it means to live pink.
Melissa Andrews with that story. Stay right there. When we come back, they are being called painful decisions. And we're sitting down with Perrysburg's interim superintendent to go in depth on the proposed cuts the district could be facing. Findlay voters approved funding for busing for next school year, but now district leaders say those buses could hit the road much sooner than that. Welcome back here on WTOL 11 Plus Now. Breaking news just into the newsroom. The Associated Press and CNN both reporting tonight that former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted on charges of making a false statement and obstruction. According to CNN, it is in connection to the 2016 investigation into whether President Trump's first presidential campaign colluded with Russia. Comey would be the first senior government official to face federal charges in connection to the matter. Back here at home now, and cuts could be coming to Perrysburg schools. School administrators say there will be $6 million in cuts if the levy on the November ballot fails. These cuts would mean a reduction in foreign language programs, reading intervention, and in school supervision. The cuts could also mean no extracurriculars for 5th through 12th graders and no athletics for 7th through 12th graders. The school's interim superintendent says she thinks this is the right ask for residents, and if they waited, the schools would have to ask for more money.
911, where's your emergency?
Here comes the Holloway school, because someone put the middle finger and someone has a gun.
That was the voice of a 3rd grade student at Holloway Elementary calling 911 on Tuesday, saying there was a gun at the school. Police rushed to the building and did a thorough search before determining that the call was a fake. At last check, Springfield Superintendent Matt Geha was still determining what sort of discipline, if any, the student will face. Findlay City Schools are looking to bring back some transportation services. This comes after voters approved a 1% income tax in May. The district won't get that money until the next school year, but leaders are trying to find ways to provide busing for high schoolers right now. Findlay Superintendent says the district needs 2 or 3 more drivers to sustain current service and as many as 12 to overhaul the system mid-year. Well, what did Toledo snowstorms, the Goodyear blimp, and Mr. T all have in common? They're all part of stories locked inside the WTOL 11 vault, and we opened it up right here on WTOL 11 Plus.
Round 1, as Mr. T learns not to mess with Mr. Lattimore. See here in a little bit.
All right, we're going to see.
I understand you were talking about me a little bit yesterday, huh?
No, man, I heard you talking about me. Don't you start no
now,
stuff,
look,
man.
Hey, now,
just because you big, you know,
Jim, back
I
to
tell you, the bigger they
Now,
is, the harder they fall.
During his visit, he also talked about his haircut and all that jewelry.
Haircut is a haircut from the tribe of Africa called the Mandinka warriors. They from the country of Mali. So I started with the haircut, then I started with the earrings. I wear 3 in my right ear and 4 in my left ear. It's for religious reasons. My father's a minister, so I'm a son of a Baptist preacher, you know. So the 3 in my right ear is symbolic of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
From there, he made several appearances, including one at the old West End Junior High School. His message wasn't for laughs. Instead, he encourages the students to respect their parents and stay in school.
Get your education. Teacher tell you to read, people. Teacher tell you your homework, please do your homework. Please do it. When you get a little older, you'll say, wow, I'm glad my teacher was tough on me. I see what you mean now.
His appearance makes a real impression on everybody.
What do you think about having Mr. T come here?
It was really fun to meet a superstar.
It got to me. I have to respect my parents from now on. It got to me, got down in my heart.
Teachers say Mr. T is the kind of role model that young people need.
I think it was a good impact on the kids and for the community for a man of his stature to come over here and present something to the kids so they could see what education will do for you.
I'd have to look it up, the dates of the A-Team, how long that show ran on NBC, and Rocky III, obviously, the height of his popularity.
My daughter was born in September of '84, so she just turned 41 years old.
Yeah.
And I remember very clearly, she'd be up middle of the night, and I'm rocking her and feeding her, and I'd be watching A-Team on DVR back in the day. VHS machine.
VCR, yeah. Oh, Dan and I cut it up each and every time we get together on The Vault, streaming exclusively on WTOL 11 Plus. It is coming up next in just about 3 minutes. It is so much fun to go back and see all of these stories from our history here at WTOL.
Oh, I know Dan loves it.
Absolutely, it's fun. It's good.
It is.
Good time.
Yeah, weather-wise, we do have some more sun returning this weekend. Going to be beautiful. A lot of those fall festivities going on, whether it's the apple orchard or the pumpkin patch. Mother Nature is going to cooperate. Also, we got another nice night for Big Board Friday with that sunshine and upper 70s. The last of those showers will be ending this evening, so keep in mind still a few isolated pop-up showers, mainly south of Toledo. Next week does turn a little more seasonable temperature-wise, but lots of sunshine as that drought continues, Jeff.
Oh, it's great to have you with us. Remember, every WTOL 11 newscast is live online right here on WTOL 11 Plus.